Let's gather around. I've got some balls. Everybody's right-handed, so I've got 4 sets of golf balls here, and I'm going to get you hitting balls as soon as possible. Right now, I want to talk about the method. My philosophy on chipping. I think it's a pretty foolproof method. Chipping is, let's define chipping. Chipping is keeping the ball low. It's what happens right up around the green. When we get out a little ways, we'll do pitching. But chipping and pitching oftentimes gets confused. So people like to think, well, I'm a good pitcher of the ball, and then we'll come up here 10 yards from the green and they'll show me how they're actually chipping. So I don't want you to confuse the two. Chipping is, basic rule of thumb, the ratio is it's going to fly a third and it's going to roll 2/3. So what is chipping the most like, Anthony? Putting. Okay. So chipping is it's the most common as putting because the ball stays on the ground so long. So let's get right into what I think your best chipping technique is. I always play the ball off my right foot. Always. I always lean all of my weight on my left. So balls off the back foot, weights on the left. Because the weight's on the left, number 3, hands are forward. So I choke down on the club. The reason I do that is because there's more control. We're not worried about getting a bunch of distance out of this wedge. All we're worried about is developing a little feel. So I choke down on the club so that I can get my eyes right over it. Step 1, balls off the back foot. Step 2, weights on the front foot. Because my weight is leaning frontwards, my hands are now frontwards too. And then I make, why this is compared the most to a putting, is I make a putting stroke. Now my lower body doesn't do a whole lot, but you'll see that if I'm up here, my chest still turns and the ball rolls out. So, did you see me flipping my wrist? The wrists stay quiet. Hands are forward, wrists stay quiet, chest and arms work together. Any questions? Now I'm going to come to you individually and we're going to look at your chipping technique, but I want you to remember, it's easier to remember if you can have steps that you think of. Your setup, ball back, weight forward, hands forward, legs are pretty quiet. Does that mean they stay stiff as a board? No, my knees are rotating a little bit, but my chest and my arms is doing all the work. So let's get up around your ball. Let's do some chipping.